Okay, actually I ran out of time a little bit in the last video, so let me let me continue from let me back up about 30 seconds and continue where I left off. So what I did was in my table, okay, I stuck in the first row, first column, I put in a hyperlink. In the first row, second column, okay, I put in a text field. So that looks like, so Control S to save, F12 to view, save changes, yes. Okay, that looks like this. Here's my link, here's my text. So I'm just going to stick the picture here, and all I'm trying to show you here is that tables can hold any kind of data. It's really cool. So let's see, let me just clean up a little bit here. Alright, so now here's my image. So if I click on the line number, I can highlight the whole line. So once it's highlighted, I could drag and move it anywhere I want. So I'm going to drag and I move the image to the second row, first column. So here is my second row. It starts here. My second row starts here. My second row ends here. Okay, and here's my first row, and here is the start of my second row. Here is the first row, second row, first column. So I don't need the hello world anymore, so I'm just going to delete it. Okay, I'm going to save it, and I'm going to go to design view, just because, and have a look. Now here's what my table looks like. So remember, design view isn't exactly the way it looks like in the browser. It's sort of what it looks like. So in order to see what it really does look like in a web browser, Control S, F12, okay, and you can see that what it looks like in the browser. Right. So that's it. Now I got a whole bunch of blank lines here. I don't need them. So again, part of my criteria is to clean up your code. So here's my title. Okay, that shows up up here. I don't need all these blank lines, but I want to keep my horizontal rule, so I'm just going to delete that. Okay, I'm just going to delete this. And my table contains basically all my data. So Control S to save, F12 to view. Here's what it looks like now. Okay, change my mind. I want a little. I want to separate these two a little bit. Add a blank space between there. So after this HR, this line going across the page here is done by my horizontal rule. So I'm going to add a break tag here, and Control S to save, F12 to look at it. So you see what I'm doing here is I'm continually changing, editing, and viewing, changing, editing, and viewing. And when I don't know how to do something, when I need to find out, I don't just kind of sit around, waiting for me to, free up, which might be a long time. I'm going to go and search my own answer, either in w3schools.com or just Google it. All right. And here's my table. So again, a very important thing with tables is you actually not tables, HTML. You really have to clean up your coding. Any kind of programming, even though I wouldn't really call HTML a programming language in the strict sense that I guess it is a programming language in that you are giving instructions for the computer to follow. So you're telling the computer this is a table, this is the first row, this is the first cell in the first row. But it's not really a programming language because it doesn't have all the good stuff like loops, variables, branching and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, it's staggering. Again, I hate to repeat myself so many times, but this is really, really important, and I really want you to do it. So one last time, all right? Table / table. Okay. The start tag and the end tag. Make sure everything that has a start tag has a corresponding end tag. In between are the guts of the table. So everything in between the table and / table is indented 1. This is the first row, the start of the first row of the table, the end of the first row. Okay, so if you look here, okay, this is my first row here. So because this is the start of the first row, this is the end of my first row, and this row contains everything in here is part of that row. You notice that I also indented it from here to here. All right, So first row, first column, first row, second column, and so forth. Very important to do that. Okay. So what I want to show you here is a couple of things, a little bit with Dreamweaver and a little bit with HTML. What I want you guys to notice is when I click on the table, I want you to notice that the properties panel changes to show me all of the table stuff that all of the table properties that I need to set. When I click outside of the table, okay, you notice that the properties changes because I'm no longer editing the table tag. So again, when I edit the table tag, I have the properties relating to this table. When I'm not editing the table tag, the properties are not related to the table anymore. So now, as an example, in my criteria, I also ask you to use cell space and cell padding. Now, I didn't tell you what it is. I didn't teach it in class. You need to find out what it is. So how would you find out? You know where to find the information. Google search W3 Schools. Now, what you can do, what I want to show you is, now if you wanted to add the cell spacing attribute or option, okay, this is the table tag. You would add it to the start tag. You could go like this, space, and you could go cell spacing, cell padding equals to 0 or what have you, okay, and you could go space. Look in the list that comes up. You go cell padding is equal to 0. Okay, now let's save it. Control S. Okay, F12 and see what that does. Okay, so you see the difference here. Okay, kind of not a whole lot of difference, but you know, just a little bit. All right. Now that's not the important part. What I want to show you now, I'm going to delete this cell padding and cell spacing. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back to my table. Okay, now this is kind of weird. Now when I click on table, okay, the properties panel didn't show the table stuff. Well, just refresh it. Okay, and there's all my table stuff. So what I want to show you that's neat about Dreamweaver is that you can modify some of your table properties from within the
virus database has been updated.
All right. Okay, so I could go cell padding equals 0 and cell spacing equals 0. Okay, and then when I click back up here, you notice that it has automatically added this for me. Right. So let's say, okay, I change mine. Cell padding equals 5. Okay, so when I click back up here, watch what happens to the 0. It changes to a 5. Okay, so you could also modify your table tags here. So again, when you click on the table, okay, you know that you're working on the table tag because you see it here. All right, and you can see your table properties, what you're doing here, and you can modify them. You can change the border to 2, and that will, watch this. When I click back up here, it changes to 2. Control S to save, F12 to view. That's how it will look. So what the cell padding and cell spacing does? Well, let's have a look in between the two. This is set to 0 cell spacing, and this is set to 5. You notice that there's kind of a border, it's kind of a padding around each cell. Pretty cool. All right. Now another thing I want you to do, I want to see you guys doing, is I want you to experiment. I want you to play with things. I want you to see now. What does cell padding do? What does cell spacing do? Well, set cell spacing to 100 and see what it does. Set cell padding to 0 and see what it does. Now, before I sign off in this video, what I also want to show you is, no, I changed my mind. I think I'll, yeah. Okay. Anyways, I'll next video talk to you about forms, and that's it. All right.